Okay, good evening, Dhamma friends. We are going to begin this evening Saturday Sutta Studies with the blessings of the Noble Triple Gem. First of all, I kindly welcome you all for this episode of Sutta Studies, and may you be able to study Dhamma for your mental peace and happiness. And at the end, may you be able to confirm yourself that something interesting going on in your mind with understanding. To begin with, let me recite Namo Tassa 3 times to pay our due respect to the Supreme Buddha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Sublime One, the Worthy One, the Fully Enlightened One. Homage to the Sublime One, the Worthy One, the Fully Enlightened One. Homage to the Sublime One, the Worthy One, the Fully Enlightened One. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Friends, today's discussion is also a part of last week's discussion, how to become a Sotapanna. This is the second part of the discussion of how to become a Sotapanna. We were able to discuss some important requisite for Sotapanna last week. We were also discussing what kind of qualities a Sotapanna could be possibly seen by external from external view, and at the same time we should be able to understand what kind of feeling or understanding a Sotapanna has in his or her mind. So today's discussion focus on such things again, and if there is any missing point, we can cover up. But understand that the topic Sotapanna or Sota, the stream enterer, is it's a huge subject in the teaching. More than anything else, this particular aspect has been discussed, if I'm not wrong, because you have a different section by this name Sotapatti Palasangita, Sotapatti Anga, and Vagga, because getting into Sotapanna is a kind of confirmation of getting into full enlightenment. So that taking one into this stream is a very important factor. So we discussed last week that getting into Sotapanna, this first stage of enlightenment, is like you have understood the core of the Buddha's teaching, and there is no reverse happen in your mind. When your mind attain to Sotapanna stage, your mind doesn't go back to the normal average life. It is a certainty. So that attaining Sotapanna has been always a very important subject for many people. As bhikkhus and lay people, as bhikkhunis and lay women, we all need this aspect in our life. So today, I would like to begin the discussion with something interesting. Let me get that sutta. The sutta I collect is Sarakani sutta. There are first Sarakani sutta, second and third, like that. We have a few suttas by this name. Sarakani was a kind of relative of the Buddha at Kapilavastu. he died while he was riding on, let me see the sutta. Yeah, while he was going on, yeah, while he was going on a ride, he passed away. He fell down from and passed away. So Sarakani was a, uh, drunker. He always drink alcohol. In the time of the Buddha, even later period, even today, people who have this habit is not well recognized by the society because of the habit they have. And one of the 5 precepts is Suramere Majjapama Dattana Veramani, abstaining from taking drugs and drinks that cause heedlessness. So therefore, it is considered a morally unwholesome act. In other words, it is an immoral act. So Sarakani was doing it all the time, and he fell down from the ride and died there. So people who, of course, know the Buddha's abilities, in this case the monks, went to the Buddha and asked, what happened to Sarakani after death? The Buddha said that that Sarakani, Sarakani, I want to say you the exact word he said. Give me a second. Yeah, Sarakani is a son of me who actually attained to Sotapanna state, the Buddha said. When monks, went to the Buddha and asked the destination of Sarakani, the Buddha said that he was a extreme enterer. He was a Sotapanna. He was a first stage of enlightened person and passed away. This message went viral in Kapilavastu because everybody is talking about Sarakani's way of dying and what the Buddha said. So in that case, people say we all can attain arahantship. If a drunkard not arahantship, Sotapanna state. If a drunkard attain Sotapanna state, why can't we do? So then people, out of not knowing what was happening there in Sarakani's mind, created a lot of confusion, stories, and they were talking what kind of things the Buddha did. He could not have said this because people might consider him not very good, and so many things were going on in the society right after that statement went viral. Then people from his city came to the Buddha and said that did you say this to people, and people now humiliate your teaching and followers because of this statement. Then Buddha clearly said in Sarakani Sutta that Sarakani, the person named by Sarakani, attained to Trimer. Actually, the king of the country, Kapilavastu, the Mahanama, questioned the Buddha about this. He came to the Buddha and said that Sarakani, the Sakyan, had died, and the Buddha has declared this. That he was extreme enterer or extreme winner. So then Buddha confirmed it. He said that just now find out that statement. I found so the Buddha is talking about being a lay person. Suppose you are a lay person and has gone refuge. If you, as a lay person, if you go to the refuge of the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, and do not break that devotions to the noble triple gem, you have a chance of attaining stream entry. So in the case of Sarakani, though he was a drunk as a habit, he actually went to the refuge of the teacher and the Dharma and the Sangha, and he did not change it. He was doing that principle very much every day. So he was able to attain to the stream entry position before his passing away. And he died as a Sotapanna. Therefore, the Buddha said that if you attain to if you have that refuge of the Buddha Dhamma and Sangha without any break, you are not going to die without attaining Sotapanna. You are not going to reborn in after death. You are not going to reborn in unhappy destination, because you have made sure that you have unwavering confidence on the Buddha Dhamma and Sangha. In that sutta, Buddha clearly gives the way one should be in the refuge of the Buddha Dhamma and Sangha. So you consider the Buddha's qualities and the Dhamma qualities and the Sangha qualities one after the other, and accept the fact that they are the noble triple gem. So I myself do this, that these triple gem are very wholesome, and as soon as I think about the noble triple gem in a very broader mind, you feel that your mind is away from certain disturbances, because thinking about the noble triple gem is simply an act of calmness of mind. It's an act of samadhi. So I can sense that even breaking of those sangyojanas, fetters, could be done through that way. And as you know, breaking up of those self-view, wrong practices and ritual and doubts are the three things we destroy to attain Sotapanna state. And that could be done by when you adhere to the principle that I revere the noble triple gem. So Sarakani story is very famous. Therefore, in the Tripitaka, sometime it is taken to show that you have some sort of mistakes, but it doesn't mean that you cannot attain Sotapanna. Now, I would like to connect another important discourse that many people know, and it is called Ratana Sutta. If you pay attention to Ratana Sutta from Kuddaka Nikaya, so it says about the strong nature of Sotapanna. If I give you a kind of information about Ratana Sutta, I think it would be really good for you. One of the three suttas we recite every day for blessings, to give blessing and also to receive blessing, is Ratana Sutta. The other suttas are Mangala Sutta and Karniyametta Sutta. Ratana is the name for gem. So this sutta, Ratana, or the sutta of gem, is talking about three kinds of gem: the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. So in this sutta, we can see some stanzas directly related to Sotapanna, in that we can say what Sotapanna could possibly hold on to, and what kind of knowledge he or she got through when he or she attained to Sotapanna. I would like to read this stanza. It comes in the middle of the Ratana Sutta. Yatinda kilo pataving sitosya chatubbi vate vyasampakampiyo tatupa mang sappurisang vadami yoarya satchani aveccha passati idampi sangye, and so on. This stanza begins by saying that something is strongly established on the ground is not going to shaken by the wind. If the wind is too fast, it doesn't mean that the strong object you fix on the ground is going to wave. In other words, How about this huge building you have in your cities? Even though a terrible wind, you know, hit those buildings, we don't see them shaking. Likewise, the Arya Savaka, Tatupamang Sapurusang Vadami, Yo Arya Satchani Avichapasati. Likewise, the noble individual who has already gone into the refuge of the Buddha Dhamma and Sangha and understand the Dhamma. So, if you want to have the title Arya Savaka, you have to be mindful about your devotions to the Buddha Dhamma and Sangha very much. In other words, you can have the title called Arya Savaka if you consider moral principles to be practiced, and I should be able to keep the important Dhamma uttered by the Buddha in the Dhamma, and you have genuine respect to those noble disciples. So there you have that title called Arya Savaka. This Arya Savaka, he has a significant thing here, who definitely sees the noble truth. So Arya Savaka is a person who understands noble truth. What are the noble truth? The suffering is a noble truth. Existing of suffering in us is a noble truth. Arising of suffering is because of craving, and craving is the main reason for suffering, and knowing that is also a noble truth. And then the suffering and also the cause of suffering could be eliminated from mind is another understanding, and if you have that understanding, it is also a noble truth in your mind. And what kind of method and path you practice to remove suffering and the cause of suffering, and that is called also a quality of a noble person. It's called dukkha nirodhagamini patipada. So the path or the way to end the all kinds of suffering and the cause of suffering is called the fourth noble truth. So these are the noble. So if a person knows them, if a person sees these four truths in his or her experience, and he's going to call a Arya Savaka, noble person, right? So in the society, in a common context, we might find noble people with their education, with their other achievements. So a Nobel Prize, I think Nobel is not the word noble. So if the society of the world is giving a Nobel Prize, it could go to someone who has already seen the Four Noble Truth, right? So we are talking about many kind of truths. It is dark now. Is it a truth or untruth? It is a truth, but it is a relative. It is a truth that is relative. If the sun is rising again, the darkness is gone, right? When there is sunlight, there is no darkness. So it is a relative conventional truth. The truth we talk about is always related to the suffering and the freedom of suffering. So if you know that those truths from your experience, there you have that title called Noble Arya Savaka. So the stanza in Ratana Sutta is really important. It says simply that the concrete post or the stone you fix on the ground is not going to shaken by the terrible wind, even though it comes from 100 kilometers per hour, 200 kilometers per hour. They are not going to roll out, because they are well grounded and they are well established. Likewise, the one who understands the noble truth is not going to shaken by the attack of craving ignorance, because they are noble people. So here it sounds Sotapan, because Sotapan has entered to the Noble Eightfold Path, firmly and understood it in a strong way. The Sota is a given name for the Noble Eightfold Path, in another name for Noble Eightfold Path. So one who enters into the Noble Eightfold Path is defined as Sotapanna, because the Sota is a name for the Noble Eightfold Path. The one who attained to Sotapanna, the Noble Eightfold Path is Sotapanna. So what you do with the Noble Eightfold Path practice is you understand suffering, you understand the cause of suffering, and you follow the path of the noble people, and there you have the chance of getting rid of suffering. So if you go to the next stanza of Ratana Sutta, that also gives qualities of Sotapanna. Ye arya sachhani vibhavayanti gambira panyena sudesitani Kinchapi te honti busappamattana te bang attamang adiyanti. So yes, I just want to bring this point to the discussion because it is related to Sarakani's incident. We were talking about there was one person called Sarakani who actually had a habit of drinking alcohol every day, and he fell down from the cart and died there. And people in Kapilavastu, which is the place it happened, they talk about a lot, because Buddha said that Sarakani attained to stage of Sotapan. So the discussion going on was that how could one attain to a stage of enlightenment while he was immoral, immoral in the sense of drinking alcohol. So that was the question. So now we see the answer for it in the Ratana Sutta. Those who comprehend the noble truths, well taught by the Buddha about deep wisdom, even if they were slightly negligent, would not take an eighth existence. So this is the meaning of the stanza I said 1 minute ago. So those who have understood the noble truth of life, right, can do some mistakes, right? Those who attain to Sotapanna state can do some wrong things, but not very rigorous, very strong one, but some mistakes. So they are, because they have not eradicated all kinds of suffering yet from their mind. Depending on their practice, they have actually stuff many of those unwholesomeness, because their intention is purified. Their chetana, their thoughts, their mind are completely cleansed into a certain stages, so that they do not want to do big moral principle violation. It never happened. So therefore, even if the Sotapanna did some mistakes, wrongdoings, they are not going to reveal it. They are not going to hide it. They will say it openly. Okay, I did this mistake. It was my fault. So let me accept the fact that I did it, so that you are free. Something like that we can see from Sotapanna. So Sotapanna, if I talk about the characteristic of Sotapanna, I would say that he's a calm person, but he's very energetic into wholesome activities. Suppose if there is Sotapanna, he never carries bad things in mind due to others' conversation, but he wants to work on attaining full enlightenment, because his nature is niyato sambodhi parayano. Definitely, the Sotapanna could attain to the final emancipation one day. It's not too far, too long, but maximum 7 lifetime. So he or she could attain to the full enlightenment, because what Sotapanna does is completing his training towards the complete liberation. So those who have comprehend the comprehend the noble truth taught by the Buddha could be broken for due to life-threatening dangers and so forth, but they could say that I did this. Then next stanza is very important. These are the stanzas of Ratana Sutta. Saha vassa dassana sampadaya tayasu dhamma jahita bhavanti. So those who enter into the practice uh, are significant in many ways. Saha vassa dassana sampadaya. So the Buddha's teaching is called a philosophy. It is also been called a way of life. It teaches. It teaches very good practices for our mind. It's a spiritual psychology. The Buddha talks about how mind works, how mind arises, where mind ceases, and what kind of things we have for living. There are so many such things in that teaching. So when you enter into that particular teaching, you have to neglect and erase and abandon with three unwholesomeness. When you enter into the noble, this Dhamma, this noble eightfold path, you are going to remove three things from your mind. Then only you seal that you are a Sotapan. You confirm that you are a Sotapan. What are the three things you could focus and remove from your mind? First one is Sakkaya Ditti, self-view, wrong self-view. It means that you accept the fact that there is a soul which is unchanged, and then the fact that I exist is accepted. So when you have Sakkaya Ditti from my academic as well as meditative experience, I can say that you believe the fact that you strongly exist and everything is for me, everything is for myself, my family. So you always attach to the idea I, me and myself. That's called Sakkaya Ditti. That is a word, Pali word for view, and Sakkaya is another Pali word for five aggregates. And then when you attach to five aggregate, you say that I exist, you exist, and so on. And not only that, you collect so many other ideas related to Sakkaya Ditti. So Sakkaya Ditti is therefore not a good thing. It is translated as a wrong view. And when we say this, this is going to be a problematic for some people, because in theistic religion, we are taught to believe that the God is taking care of us and we are going to reborn over there. But this is in line with Sakkaya Ditti, because you accept the fact that you are here, you are an agent of so and so, and when you go from this life to next life, if you might be a good person if you have done so many good things. So the problem of this scenario from Buddhist point of view is that when you die, right, there you leave the body. The relative will take care of it, either with burning or burying or whatever. So who is going to reborn in another place? So from a simple answer is the mind, the ability to know. In theistic religion, it's called the soul. Soul depart from this body and go to another body and so on. It doesn't matter that you use the word soul or mind. The problem now we have is with the word soul, it is connected with the God, Almighty God, right? That is the thing that theistic religion taught. But Sakkaya Ditti, how do we connect Sakkaya Ditti or wrong view for this particular fact? According to Buddha's teaching, Sakkaya Ditti is based on I, me, and myself. And when you think that your body is mine and this car is mine, this house is mine, this is mine, this is mine, and so on, what you develop there is attachment, right? When you put the word I, mine, I, me, and myself, you do not nothing but collect some strong ideas related to Sakkayaditi. So the way you take care of Sakkayaditi is also taught by the Buddha. Sakkayaditi is building up in our mind based on our senses, and you consider senses as impermanent. So Buddha in his teaching says that how cannot be Sakkayaditi? You take eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind, five senses, and consider them as impermanent object, impermanent things in our body that is supported by something else, so that you do not believe I, me, and myself going without any change. At the end, friends, what I'm trying to say is that the person called I or you, or the word I could be used by everybody. The person called I is only a combination of various materials and immaterial thing. That's why I have this. So the impermanence is the reality of this I, me, and myself. And so that you could say that permanent I issue is a wrong thing, because no one can have it, no one can stay like that. So I do not want to go further on that. So Sakkayadit is broken along with skeptical doubt and wrong practices and ritual. Wrong practices and rituals, Silabhata Paramasa, is a better. If you have it strongly, you cannot escape from those unwholesomeness built in your mind. So Silabhata Paramasa is something like this. You believe some activities bring you blessing, bring you satisfaction, bring you worry-free life. How many things we do? Sometime those days, people were worshipping fire, thinking that it is the very reason for gaining that momentum in the divine world. Some people were standing with one leg for 1 hour every day at a time, and that is her practice for making sure that she is in the right path. So likewise, a lot of people try to understand, Sakkayaditi, I think many people do, but at the same time, it is always related to senses. So how do we take Sakkayaditi out? You consider these eyes, the ears, the nose, the tongue, the body are not mine. So put that idea into your mind strongly. Suppose this is very interesting. There is a simile in the literature that you are afraid of something on the road. So suppose you are walking down the hill and you see a kind of rope in a coil manner, right? A rope has been fallen from a vehicle or so. So now in the middle of at the beginning of evening with darkness, you see this coil is as a snake, because your perception is distorted with the darkness, and at the same time you do not get closer to it to see what it is. So you think for a moment that there is a snake, but of course there was only a rope coiling together. So wrong perception always make us wrong and give you a negative conclusion, right? Suppose we get out of the house in the morning or in the evening and see the sky, and then you can see animal shaped clouds, and if you look at for a while, more and more you think about it, more and more you see it, you can find some more animal shape in the sky. But we know the fact that they are not real animals. Likewise, you look at your own life and understand that this life is fragile, it's subject to illnesses. Basis of the life is four elements, and so there is no particular I, me, and myself here, just only a physical body supported by food, shelter, and so on. If you understand yourself in this way, you're not going to create anger, hatred, ill will for others, because there is nothing for you to protect in your life. Your life is already protected with the understanding of there is no I, there is no me, there is no myself. So I can understand that significance of Sakkayaditthi very much, since, of course, the teaching of the Buddha is supported by. Anyway, try your best to understand what Sakkayaditthi is. So in the Ratana Sutta, what we see is Sakkayaditthi, Vichikicha, Silabhata Paramasa, three huge volume of craving is called Sakkayaditthi, self-view, wrong view, and then wrong practices and rituals and skeptical doubt. Your mind is always doubtful. This doubt is a cancer for us, right? We doubt our spouse, children, parents, the social figures. We doubt everyone. When you have doubt, do you feel that you stay well, healthy, and peaceful? I'm just asking you, because when you have a doubt, strong doubt about your partner, do you think that you can sleep well? No. When there is doubt in mind, no matter what the cause is about, your mind is unhappy. It is busy. So doubt is an incurable disease, according to some commentators, because incurable disease is something you never get out. So to the last moment of your life, that illness exists. So likewise, doubt, when doubt arises in mind, you are not doing right thing in you are not able to achieve the maximum because your mind is doubtful. So when you attain to Sotapanna state, you destroy these three fetters: Sakkayaditthi, self-view, Vichikicha, skeptical doubts, and wrong practices and rituals for attaining Nibbana. I told you that thinking of attaining Nirvana, you go to the river and put your legs down and you sit on the bank of the river for a long time, even with a terrible wind, terrible, cool weather. So there are such people. So then that is called Silabhata Paramas, or wrong practices and ritual, right? So then Buddha said in the Ratana Sutta stanza, suppose you enter into the noble qualities, so you let go of three fetters. Therefore, you are definitely be away from any possibility of birth in unhappy places. The possibility of going to hell, possibility of being born as a hell being, the possibility of being an animal is gone, because you have destroyed three unwholesome states of the mind. So for sure, the attaining Sotapanna may not be able to do for six things. Never ever he violates these six things. Whether the Sotapanna is a woman or a man, it doesn't matter. None of them, violate these six things. What are the six things? In the teaching of about karma, friends, we have very rigorous karma that gives the results definitely in the next life. They are called Garuka karma. These are the five. killing an arahant, killing or assassinating a full enlightened person. First one. Then killings one's father and killings one's mother. Then we have 3. And the fourth one is distorting the Dhamma and accept something else. You say that I don't, suppose you were kind of follower of the noble teaching, and at some point, due to many other reasons, you say, no, I declare that this is wrong dharma and I'm taking another dharma. It does not happen at all. Then the next wrong, very strong misdeed is making a separation. So one group is there living very friendly, and you make this one group of people into 2 with hearsay, with so many allegations. For example, suppose there are people in the society who share various things of the other person, then make the second person angry about it. So at the end, what you have done is separating people who were before friends. So that is another strong wrongdoing. And the other thing is shedding the bloods from the Buddha's body. No one can kill the Buddha because it is so powerful. The Buddha's qualities are unimaginable. But any person can, damage to the body of the Buddha until the blood comes out. There is one incident happened during time of the Buddha. It was not a lame man or a woman. It was a bhikkhu. It was one of the relatives of the Buddha called Devadatta. His plan was to kill the Buddha and get the title called Buddhahood. He mistakenly thought that Buddhahood is a title that could be taken by somebody. So he made a plan at the Gijjakuta in India, and he threw a huge stone from the top of the mountain to the place where the Buddha was walking down here and there. So, but anyway, his idea was didn't happen, but a small piece of stone came and hit the Buddha's one foot, and he started bleeding. So these are the 6 wrong, very rigorous things that you should not do. Of course, the one who attained to Sotapanna never violate these 5 rigorous practices, and also the next one. So this stanza of Ratana Sutta is therefore very significant. I urge you to read. One more thing to add there. Kinchapi sokammang karoti papakang kayena vacha uddhachesa. Even though the Sotapanna is directing to for enlightenment, he can or she can do some mistakes. But as I said, ababbo sotasa patichadaya. They are incapable of keeping it for themselves. If they did something wrong, you go to the other party and say that it is me who did that. So because people who haven't developed their mind, fear for other people and fear of punishment, so that even if they did mistakes, immoral just act, they are trying to hide it because they have ego mind. But the one who attained to Sotapanna destroy Sakkaya, which means no ego, so that you don't want to hide anything from you. In the other thing is, Sotapanna is genuine in his or her thoughts, action, and also speeches, because you have seen the truth. So even if they do some mistakes by words, action, and thinking, that is been quickly change. Accept the fact that I did this. So that is the nature of Sotapanna. So these are some of the interesting information found in Ratana Sutta. It tells us what exactly the Sotapanna is and what kind of qualities Sotapanna has. So these are the important things we can bring about from the discourse. So Sarakani was a drunkard, but he was able to, he had a kind of moment in his last couple of hours and, investigated into reality. That's why he attained Sotapan. I know that those people who listen to many sermons for a long time may not be able to, may not be able to understand this, but those who have gone through entire sermons like this really know. So I have compassion for those people who do not know, so that I would explain here how one can become Sotapan. Everybody can. Because Buddha has not said that some people, started their journey from previous lives. Buddha has not said that. But if you have as we discussed last week, if you have four things, you are going to complete the complete everything and make things happen. So Sapurisa Sansevana, being able to find a very good wholesome friend is a key thing for practicing Dharma. It's a Dharma practice. And then listen to right speeches about life. So there are many kinds of talks and workshops and things like that. Today they are all focusing developing Sakkaya. They are all focusing on other mundane matters. They do not want to understand the noble truth. So that anyway, so having wholesome friendship, we can listen to them. Then you yourself reflect what is life, and you peep into your inside and practice it. So Yoniso Manasikara. And as a result of Yoniso Manasikara, you achieve the target and you become a holy peaceful person. So we discussed that last week. You need to find a good friend and listen to the Dhamma and putting your right thinking into application, and then check whether you are on the noble path always. So Dhammanudhamma Patipatti means you live according to the Dhamma. What Dhamma says, and you are living for that. So friends, when you make sure that you complete these 8 factors, your Sotapan experience is not going to wane. It is always there. Right? So Sarakani, we keep the Sarakani Sutta as our main discussion today. And if you Google it, you can know what exactly the sutta. Simply, what we need to remind ourselves is that at the time you reflect Dhamma, changes to your mind could happen. Sometime Sotapannas are not very, advanced disciples of the Buddha compared to them. Compare these Sotapannas to Arhan. So Arhans are the perfect enlightened person. So now we can move on to the one-to-one discussion on Sotapanna. I know there are a lot of suttas in Sotapatipala Samyutta. Sometimes they are identical suttas, only the difference is name and the place of delivery. And there are other suttas highlight the attainment to Sotapanna in other suttas, so that we can pinpoint many suttas about Sotapanna. But what we need to understand is that is the first goal we have in the training. And when you attain to Sotapanna state, gradually your mind should be away from various unwholesomeness. So you care a lot about your practice. So then, you would be able to slowly get into Sotapanna. Last week, we were discussing about Saddhanusari and Dhammanusari and so forth. So your title, your nature of mind is going to be really changed with the idea of attaining Sotapanna. So what else I can say? I think better we have a discussion. If you have any concern and questions, please let me know. What do you have any concern?
No. The only question I have is I listened to another lecture on oh boy. So we talk about space. Space is permanent, right? But if we say me and I, it's not permanent. So, but if when I die, I will come back in the new baby, reincarnate maybe in the new baby, maybe something else, but is my soul permanent?
So you said that you said that you heard a talk and that talks about space, right? And
It was talking about emptiness.
Yeah.
Emptiness.
So let's say that space is not the blue sky. It is also space, and this is also space. Between myself and the computer, there's space. Between my two fingers, there is a space. So space is a word to explain that again space, right? Who is there to tell that space exists? It is the person, right?
Yes.
So the perceiving the space as space, I say that the space is permanent. It is my idea about the space. But we do not know whether the space is permanent or impermanent.
What can you name something that is permanent?
There is nothing permanent.
Nothing.
Yeah, that's why people come to a conclusion that God is permanent.
God is permanent. But God created, and anything that something permanent cannot create.
Yes, that's a very good point. If that's a very good point. If somebody says that something is created, it means it was not there before.
Before, that's right.
So what is created could be ended too.
Yes.
So therefore, if the God creates this universe, then the universe is impermanent. It shouldn't be permanent. Then who created the God?
Yeah. Well, we did. We say there's a
God. A lot of people now say that human creates the God.
Yeah, we say.
Of course, you see that when you go to India.
Yes,
Right? India and Sri Lanka and all these countries, you see a lot of statues of gods and goddesses.
Yes.
From village to village is different. And so I know that we created the God because we never met these divine beings.
We never did,
Yeah, it's our imagination from various sources which we do not know how to go to the beginning of those sources. So then mysticism and divinity, they are always hot topics in they always amaze us because human mind is always like to catch those interesting, amazing, colorful, powerful things in their mind to hang on to this life. So that you think that there is a powerful so and so in the universe looking at us, and then you obey them, because at the end we do not, those people who believe the God or goddesses or this and that never tested it. We do not actually disregard others' belief. They can believe whatever they want, and we should respect them. That is another thing. But from this point of view of wisdom, we can see that there is the human has created everything at the end. When we say human, it is just our mind, just our perception.
Yes.
Suppose this book. Now, who said that? Who said this name book? At some point, a human. From that onward, people believe this is book. It's a label. We label us. So likewise, I, me, and myself are only labels.
Okay, but is there a level where there is reality? Is there a level where, so there's not, you're saying there's nothing permanent, nothing permanent.
Yeah, that's the reality.
That's the reality.
We have temporary things, I exist here and you exist there and you exist there, and people join online and they exist in their own places. But that is called temporarily truth or conventional truth. Truth has two sides, two categories.
Two truths, yeah.
People, living beings agreed upon, and it is called conventional truth. Okay, so in history, there were my parents' parents, and in history, the country called Canada was like this, and so that they are truth also, but they according to our belief, agreement, and so forth. And the absolute truth is different from that. Absolute truth is not unchanged. What is absolute truth? Everything is made by solidity, cohesion, heat, and air. It is absolute because what do we call this huge ball-like things in the space is called planet Earth. What is the nature, basic conditions of the planet Earth is solidity, cohesion, heat, and air. Space means, right, from one point of view, we can say it is empty, but it is not empty. It is covered by air.
True.
So it is it is full with air.
Is there a purpose
Yeah.
to this? Like the Buddha says, well, when we reach a certain level, we don't reincarnate anymore. So does that, and then he talks about the different worlds, right? The lower worlds, the animal world, and so on. But there's also higher worlds as well. Is there a purpose that Buddhism
It depends, there are not only humans and animals in this world. What we perceive is only ourselves and animals, different type of animals. But there are other living beings which we cannot see because our dimension is different from them. So when you have a kind of dimension, there is a level or distance you could see, and beyond that you cannot perceive. So if you have an ability to reach to the other dimension, then you can see, like you see other things, you can see other living beings, you can hear them. So the Buddha and many ordained and unordained disciples that ability in their mind through meditation. So when you meditate and attain peace and happiness into very subtle state, there you have the chance of directing your mind to hear some sounds from these other living beings. You can see them not from your this eye, but from your wisdom, knowledge. You can see them as living beings. So when you develop your mind into that extent, you can communicate with them because your dimension is shifted into a very special level. So then only you can go to the realm where other living beings live. You can see them, you can communicate with them, you can, of course, take your body up and levitate it invisibly. So all these extraordinary activities could be done when only you can develop your mind into that extent. But the Buddha's idea of dharma, following Dharma is not for that, ending. He emphasized the fact that ending craving and the causes of craving is the key thing for key aspect of his teaching. Because uh, if you are going to reborn somewhere, it is because of attachment in our mind at the time of death. Craving, attachment, ignorance. The level of craving, attachment, ignorance, this desire to exist, desire to non-exist, these things made us again in a new life. It's just like this. So you take some seed from the mango tree. So you eat the mango and keep the mango seed. And so now suppose in a few months you put it into a ground and it makes mango, and now mango is growing. So mango tree is growing. So how about if you take the mango seed and put into a cup and pour hot water into it? The mango is going to die. Physically, you have a mango seed. Physically, you have a beans, but you put them into hot water. The possibility of rooting out and making a new plant is impossible now because it is dead. So once you take the craving, ignorance, greed, hatred, the view called I, me, and myself from your mind away, then you are like the dead seed. Your mind is not making any connection. But if you die with the seed of anger, hatred, ill will, ignorance, and all these things, you definitely find a place, a womb or a egg or a weighty place to reborn, or spontaneously you become an animal or a not animal, ghost or divine, because you had that essence of rebirth in your mind. What is the essence of? What is the requisite of rebirth in the next life? Is the craving, attachment, ignorance, jealousy, anxiety, anger. All these are called negative thoughts. If you die with the negative thoughts, you are going to get a next birth. The fear of this is not getting into a next life, but the fear is, the very difficult part of is after you birth, you have to go to school again, right? You have to eat. Yeah, you experience all kinds of suffering and getting married again.
Yeah.
And finding a suitable person and getting married and bringing up children and doing a job, and who knows where you born, maybe in a war zone area, maybe in an area where a lot of problems, who knows. So rebirth is a real problem. According to Buddha's dependent origination, the suffering start, once you, when you start the new life in the womb. No, coming out of the mother's womb, if we talk about a human birth, coming out of the mother's womb is one big step, but your birth in the womb is happening 10 months before. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Your birthday, suppose your birthday, you were born in 1950. Let's say September 7th, tomorrow. So that is your birthday, 1950, September 7th. But your real birth, according to the Buddha's teaching, is 10 months before that.
Before that.
That day that you came out of the womb as a grown kid, baby is it's a kind of conventional birth. But you were in the mother's womb consciously, starting 10 months. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Agree.
And the death is also like that. So we talk about clinical death. So when the the death is happening in this way, according to the Dharma, death is nothing but malfunction of the five senses. Of course, six senses. What are the six senses? Eyes, ears, the nose, the tongue, and the body and the mind. Five physical senses and one mental sense. The mind is a sense, it's not physical. But the mind is always depending on the five physical senses. So at the time of death, what happens is first die the eyes, then the nose, the tongue, the body, the four senses, then at last the ear is dying. And when the consciousness of the ear goes from, the mind cannot stay in this body. So gradually the consciousness of the eyes and the nose, the tongue, the entire body, and finally ears gone, then the sixth sense called mind may not be able to stay in this body, the mind goes.
The mind goes.
So that is how the death happens. Even if it happens in a split second, suppose we see people die by bomb attacks and heart attack, accidents. People fall down from high places to the ground and die. So death could happen in a split second. Even though it happened in a split second, it happens in a, what happened is the death of the senses is taking place there. Right? So if you die, whether it is a very gradual dying or a quick sudden death, if you die with the craving, ignorance, and hate, attachment in your mind, you have a next birth.
You have an expert. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it says you like the two elephants, the elephants that was tamed, it had opportunity of a better rebirth. Maybe it would rebirth into a man or a baby boy or a baby girl.
I agree to that, because if suppose there is a tiger, tiger is always tiger like to eat animals. Of course, we never see a tiger who is eating grass, right, leaves, right? So that kind of tiger, if suppose we train a tiger to eat banana, and we keep the tiger at home with the kind of kind of discipline we give, like we tame elephants and horses and so on. We do this for the tiger. Now we give enough dead animals for tiger. Tiger is not going to the forest and kill animals, but we give. This tiger now is about 20 years, and then now is the tiger is nearly dying, and this tiger is has never killed an animal. What the tiger has had been eating throughout its life is something the family members gave. He never kills fish and other animals and so on. So as a result of this thing, the tiger discontinued of killing animals. The intention is working here. We know that the tiger prevent from eating animals, not because of its intention. Tiger never thought that I shouldn't kill animal just because it is a sin, and if I kill animals is a demerit for me, I might reborn in animal. No, there are no such things in tiger, because tiger is, animals do not have that intention of doing good, intention of preventing bad thing. Only humans and divine, they have it. So therefore there could not be any merits accumulating in the count of tiger, which later gives the tiger good birth. But what you have done is during that 20 period, tiger intentionally or unintentionally, of course, unintentionally has stopped killing animals, right? So therefore, it could be a advantage for the tiger to be in happy places after a couple of lifetime, because there is a gap, there is a break of killing animals.
I see.
So I took this point just to tell something related to us. And if we are able to stop akusala, unwholesome things in our speech, in our action, in our thinking, so we cut the rope of unwholesomeness. Suppose suppose there is a rope from one side of the river to the other side. Now you can hang on to this rope and cross over the river. But how about if you cut the rope in the middle of it, river, in the middle of the river, and now you cannot cross over? Something like that happened when you practice good thing in your life. You put the full stop for unwholesome things so that you do only good things. Your continuity in life and death cycle is going to over. So that is why the Buddha said here, if once you cut that rope of ignorance, attachment in the middle of it, you discontinue your journey into samsara or suffering. So your title is changing now an average person to Sotapan. Because even Sotapannas are going to have maximum 7 births, but they have put an end to the problem. So what you need to do is consider you as an impermanent, and we attach to people, right? We attach to girls, we attach to men, we attach to women, we attach to properties, we attach to this world, Canada, our own countries, we attach to our body, we attach to our views, ideas. So we have attached to so many things. That is the very source for suffering in this life, and also getting into next life is because of these attachment. So if we are able to decrease attachment by right thinking, right view, and so on, so our continuation in samsara, in cycle of birth and death, is going to limit. At some point, you are able to attain sotapan.
Thank you.
Yeah. So if you would like to read more on this, you can Google, and I also find things from Google. Of course, there are so many things about Sotapanna or Magga or path to Sotapanna by various individuals. They have written them as they think. So be careful when you read such information. They may be according to them or not. But very important thing is to go to the main sources of Sotapan and read them. So they are directly from the Buddha's teaching. So before we end the Sutta studies now, I just want to say that have a goal to be a Sotapanna, which means you have seen the truth very much. So become a Sotapanna means that you are totally away from reborning in hell, animal kingdom, ghost, and all kinds of problems are gone like that. So you put a seal that it's like you're going to write an exam, and then you sit for exam and answer the questions right now. Your mark is so high. Now you get a certificate. So getting a certificate that you pass this exam is unchanged now, because you have done it. You have studied for the exam and you got through the exam. Now you are a particular person who knows about the subject. So your situation is unchanged. Likewise, once you attain to Sotapanna state, you have gone through the Noble Eightfold Path into that extent. You have destroyed some unwholesome roots from your mind completely. even if you want to be a non-Sotapanna after, you cannot do it because we have gone through.
Mhm. Okay.
So that is the thing I want to say at last. Is there anyone who would like to say something here in the Zoom platform? If you want to say something, please say it. Otherwise, we are going to end today's Sutta Studies. The Sutta we selected is from Sotapatti Pala Sangyutta, and the name of the Sutta is Sarakani Sutta. And we, of course, discussed some Dhamma about Sotapanna based on Ratana Sutta. And then there are other suttas that I have in my mind, but I did not go to share. They are all recorded in the canon. I think what is important is to practice Sila moral principles to get closer to this particular achievement, and then make sure that you understand the life very much as impermanent. Then develop your mind for mindfulness training, with mindfulness training, because when we are going to break those huge wall-like craving in our mind, we need a lot of patience, we need a lot of physical and mental strength. And so you should do such practices in that way, so that make sure that you put your right effort into application. So having said this, I would like to end today's Sutta Studies. May you all be well, happy, and peaceful, and may you have enough merits in your account to be a Sotapanna before your last day. With that in mind, I say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you very much.
Teruvan saranam.
Everyone, Sanmai.
Thank you, Bante.